Harakat al-Shabaab al-Mujahideen, more commonly known as Al-Shabaab, is a jihadist terrorist group based in East Africa. In 2012, it pledged allegiance to the militant Islamist organization Al-Qaeda. In February of the year, some of the group's leaders quarreled with Al-Qaeda over the union, and quickly lost ground. Al-Shabaab's troop strength was estimated at 7,000 to 9,000 militants in 2014. As of 2015, the group has retreated from the major cities, controlling a few rural areas. Al-Shabaab is an offshoot of the Islamic Courts Union, which splintered into several smaller factions after its defeat in 2006 by Somalia's transitional federal government and the TFG's Ethiopian military allies. The group describes itself as waging jihad against enemies of Islam, and is engaged in combat against the federal government of Somalia and the African Union mission to Somalia. Al-Shabaab has been designated as a terrorist organization by Australia, Canada, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom and the United States. As of June 2012, the U.S. State Department has opened bounties on several of the group's senior commanders. In early August 2011, the transitional federal government's troops and their AMISOM allies managed to capture all of Mogadishu from the Al-Shabaab militants. An ideological rift within the group's leadership also emerged, and several of the organization's senior commanders were assassinated. Due to its Wahhabi roots, Al-Shabaab is hostile to Sufi traditions, and has often clashed with the militant Sufi group Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. The group has also been suspected of having links with Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb and Boko Haram. Additionally, it attracted some members from Western countries, notably Samantha Luthwaite and Abu Mansur al-Amriki. In August 2014, the Somali government-led Operation Indian Ocean was launched to clean up the remaining insurgent-held pockets in the countryside. On 1 September 2014, a U.S. drone strike carried out as part of the broader mission killed Al-Shabaab leader Mokhtar Ali Zoub. U.S. authorities hailed the raid as a major symbolic and operational loss for Al-Shabaab, and the Somali government offered a 45-day amnesty to all moderate members of the militant group. Political analysts also suggested that the insurgent commander's death will likely lead to Al-Shabaab's fragmentation and eventual dissolution. Name: Al-Shabaab is also known as Ash-Shabaab, Hezbollah Shabaab, and the popular resistance movement in the land of the two migrations. For short, the organization is referred to as HSM, which stands for Harakat al-Shabaab al-Mujahideen. The term Shabab means youth in Arabic, and the group should not be confused with similarly named groups. Organization and leadership: Al-Shabaab's composition is multi-ethnic, with its leadership positions mainly occupied by Afghanistan and Iraq-trained ethnic Somalis and foreigners. According to the National Counter-Terrorism Center, the group's rank-and-file members hail from disparate local groups, sometimes recruited by force. Unlike most of the organization's top leaders, its foot soldiers are primarily concerned with nationalist and clan-related affairs as opposed to the global jihad. They are also prone to infighting and shifting alliances. According to the Jamestown Foundation, Al-Shabaab seeks to exploit these vulnerabilities by manipulating clan networks in order to retain power. The group itself is likewise not entirely immune to local politics. More recently, Muslim converts from neighboring countries have been conscripted, typically to do undesirable or difficult work. Although Al-Shabaab's leadership ultimately falls upon Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri, the internal leadership is not fully clear, and with foreign fighters trickling out of the country, its structure is increasingly decentralized. Ahmed Abdi Godane was publicly named as Emir of Al-Shabaab in December 2007. In August 2011, Godane was heavily criticized by Al-Shabaab's co-founder Hassan Dahir and others for not letting aid into the hunger-stricken parts of southern Somalia. Although not formally announced, Shabaab was effectively split up into a «foreign legion» led by Godane. and a coalition of factions forming a «National Legion» under Ortiz. The latter group often refused to take orders from Godin, and the two groups hardly talked to each other. In February 2012, Godin made bay'at, or an oath of allegiance, to al-Qaeda. With it he likely hoped to reclaim and extend his authority, and to encourage foreign fighters to stay. This move will further complicate the cooperation with the National Legion of Al-Shabaab. Godin was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Somalia on September 1, 2014. Ahmad Umar was named Godin's successor on 6 September 2014. He is believed to have previously played a role in Al-Shabaab's internal secret service known as Amniya. Leaders: Ahmad Umar, Mokhtar Ali Zub, Godin, Arab subclan of Northern Isaac clan. Other leaders: Mukhtar Robo, Abu Mansour, second deputy leader and regional commander in charge of Bay and Bakul. Fuad Muhammad Khalaf, Shangol, third most important leader after Abu Mansour, in charge of public affairs. Hassan Dahiri's spiritual leader. Hussein Ali Fidao, political chief and wazir. Ali Muhammad Ragi Dare, aka Sheikh Ali Muhammad Raj, aka Sheikh Ali Dara, current deputy emir. He is from Hawiya Murusada clan. Official spokesman: Aden Hashi Farah, Iro, Central Hawiya clan. Ibrahim Haji Jamamiyad Al-Afghani, he was governor of the Kismayo administration. Hassan Yaqub Ali was official spokesman of the Kismayo administration, but currently he is Wali of Galmudug. Abdurrahman Hassan Hussein, leader of the Middle Shabelle region. Hassan Abdullah Hersha al-Turka, leader of the Ras Kamboni brigades, which controls the Juba Valley and was first part of Hezbollah Islam but merged with Al-Shabaab in 2010. Mohammed Sedatum, faction leader and arms dealer who in July 2010 announced allegiance to Al-Shabaab and the Al-Shabaab commander in Puntland. Mukhtar Abu Muslim, head of fatwas, from Rahanwain clan. Abdullah Haji Daud, head of assassinations, from Hawiyu clan of Mursaid subclan. Sahalis Kudak, head of kidnappings of aid workers for ransom, from Dir clan of Biamal subclan. Hassan Afra, head of relationship with pirates, from Hawiyu clan of Salaban subclan. Tahir Gamai Abdi al-Haq, judge of Al-Shabaab, from Hawiyu clan of Dudubal subclan. Talil Abdushakur, head of the elite Al-Amniyat assassination unit. Yusuf Dheq, chief of external operations and planning for intelligence and security. Aden Garar, head of external operations of Al-Shabaab, reportedly orchestrated the 2013 Westgate shopping mall attack in Nairobi. Muhammad Musa, Gedo province commander. Sheikh Abdiasis Abu Musab, military operations spokesman. Foreigners: Al-Shabaab is said to have many foreigners within its ranks, particularly at the leadership level. Fighters from the Persian Gulf and international jihadists were called to join the holy war against the Somali government and its Ethiopian allies. Though Somali Islamists did not originally use suicide bombing tactics, the foreign elements of Al-Shabaab have been blamed for several suicide bombings. A 2006 UN report identified Libya and Egypt, among countries in the region, as the main backers of the Islamist extremists. Egypt has a long-standing policy of securing the Nile River flow by destabilizing Ethiopia, formerly a predominantly nationalist organization. Al-Shabaab repositioned itself as a militant Islamist group that also attracted a large cadre of Western devotees. As of 2011, the group's foreign recruitment strategy was active in the United States, where members attempted to recruit from the local Muslim communities. According to an investigative report by the U.S. House Committee on Homeland Security, Al-Shabaab recruited over 40 Muslim Americans since 2007. In 2010, The New York Times reported that after more than a dozen Americans were killed in Somalia, the organization's recruiting success had decreased in the U.S. These American and foreign recruits played a dual role within the organization. serving as mercenaries and as a propaganda tool for radicalization and recruitment. These individuals, including Omar Hamami, appeared in propaganda videos posted in online forums in order to appeal to disaffected Muslim youth and inspire them to join the Islamist struggle. This was a top-down strategy, wherein Islamist agents attempted to use mosques and legitimate businesses as a cover to meet, recruit, and raise funds for operations in the U.S. and abroad. By mid-2013, the U.S. Congress reported that such militant recruitment appeared to have halted. Most of the foreign Al-Shabaab members come from Yemen, Sudan, the Swahili Coast, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. As of 2010, their number was estimated at between 200 to 300 militants, augmented by around 1,000 diaspora and ethnic Somalis. Many of Al-Shabaab's foot soldiers also belong to Somalia's marginalized ethnic minorities from the farming south. Of the foreign members, Jonathan Evans, the former head of MI5, addressing a London security conference in 2010, advised that a significant number of UK residents were training with Al-Shabaab, linking this increased involvement with a reduction in Al-Qaeda activity in Pakistan's tribal areas. He also suggested that since Somalia, it is only a matter of time before we see terrorism on our streets inspired by those who are today fighting alongside Al-Shabaab. The actual number has been estimated at between 50 and 100 persons, one source estimating around 60 active Al-Shabaab recruiters, including 40 Somalis and an additional 20 mainly British-based cleanskins. Individuals who have not committed any crimes but are believed to have ties with the group. There is also evidence of funding of the group by Somalis resident in Britain. Of the 10 people subject to control orders in 2012, at least 5 are associated with Al-Shabaab. C, a British citizen of Iranian origin, aged 28 in 2012, cf. and DD, a non-British citizen, believed to have been associated with the funding and promotion of terrorism-related activity. In East Africa, at least 2 British Somalis, Ibrahim Magog and Mohammed Ahmed Mohammed, have absconded. In 2012, it was also reported that the group was attracting an increasing number of non-Somali recent converts from Kenya, a predominantly Christian country in the African Great Lakes region. Estimates in 2014 placed the figure of Kenyan fighters at around 25% of Al-Shabaab's total forces. Referred to as the Kenyan Mujahideen by Al-Shabaab's core members, the converts are typically young and overzealous. Poverty has made them easier targets for the group's recruiting activities. The Kenyan insurgents can blend in with the general population of Kenya, and they are often harder to track by law enforcement. Reports suggest that Al-Shabaab is attempting to build an even more multi-ethnic generation of fighters in the larger region. One such recent convert, who helped carry out the Kampala bombings but now cooperates with the Kenyan police, believes that the group is trying to use local Kenyans to do its dirty work for it, while its own core members escape unscathed. According to diplomats, Muslim areas in coastal Kenya and Tanzania, such as Mombasa and Zanzibar, are especially vulnerable for recruitment. Foreigners from Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as Afghan-trained Somalis, play an important role in the group's leadership ranks owing to their combat experience, bringing with them specialized skills. These commanders often lead the indoctrination of new recruits, and provide training in remote-controlled roadside bombings, suicide attack techniques, and the assassination and kidnapping of government officials, journalists, humanitarian and civil society workers. Foreign Al-Shabaab commanders include foreign leaders and members. Fazul Abdullah Mohammed, a Kenyan national, was appointed by Osama bin Laden as al-Qaeda's leader in East Africa in late 2009. Before the death of Salah Ali Salah Nabin, Mohammed served as the military operations chief for al-Qaeda in the region. He was an experienced militant commander who was known to be able to cross national borders with ease. In August 2008, he eluded a police dragnet in Kenya. Muhammad had been hiding in Somalia with Shabaab and the Islamic courts for years. Muhammad was considered to be Al-Shabaab's military leader, while Mukhtar Abdul Rahman Abu Zub was Al-Shabaab's spiritual leader. He was killed on June 8, 2011. Jihad Serwan Mustafa, a US-born senior Al-Shabaab commander, in charge of various functions for the militant group, including serving as a leader for foreign fighters within the organization as well as training insurgents. Fluent in English, Somali and Arabic, he is also a media specialist. Sheikh Mohammed Abu Faid, a Saudi citizen, serves as a top financier and a manager for Shabaab. Abu Musa Mombasa, a Pakistani citizen, serves as Shabaab's chief of security and training. Abu Mansour al-Amriki, whose real name was Omar Hamami, was a U.S. citizen who converted to Islam and traveled to Somalia in 2006. Once in Somalia, he quickly rose through the ranks. He served as a military commander, recruiter, financier, and propagandist. Amriki appeared in several Shabaab propaganda tapes. He became a primary recruiter for Al-Shabaab, issued written statements on their behalf and appeared in its propaganda videos and audio recordings. An indictment unsealed in August 2010 charged him with providing material support to terrorists. In January 2013, Amriki was ousted from Al-Shabaab because it felt he had joined in a narcissistic pursuit of fame. He then publicly voiced ideological differences with the group via YouTube and Twitter, asserting that local militant leaders were only concerned with fighting in Somalia and not globally. He was assassinated by the insurgents in September 2013. He was removed from the FBI's Most Wanted Terrorists list in November 2013. He was removed from the U.S. State Department's Rewards for Justice list in January 2014. Abdul Qadir Muhammad Abdul Qadir, a Kenya-born Somali Al-Shabaab commander alleged by the Kenyan government to have planned several attacks in the country, including a plot to target the UN's bureau in Nairobi, the Kenyan parliamentary building, and an Ethiopian restaurant patronized by Somali government representatives. According to U.S. officials, Abdul Qadir was also a close associate of the late al-Qaeda operatives Harun Fazul and Salah Nabin. Mahmoud Mujahir, a Sudanese citizen, is Shabaab's chief of recruitment for suicide bombers. Samantha Luthwaite, allegedly an Al-Shabaab member, she is believed to have been behind an attack on a sports bar in Mombasa in 2012. Widow of 7/7 suicide bomber Jermaine Lindsay. Issa Osman Issa serves as a top al-Qaeda recruiter and military strategist for Shabaab. Before joining, he participated in the simultaneous attacks on the U.S. embassies in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam in 1998. He has been described as a central player in the simultaneous attacks on the Paradise Hotel in Kikumbule, Kenya, in 2002, and the attempt that year to down an Israeli airliner in Mombasa. Muhammad, also known as Sheikh Dulaudin Gamadhir or Muhammad Kuno, a Kenyan citizen of Somali origin who serves as a commander of Al-Shabaab operations in Kenya, named by the Kenyan government as the mastermind behind the Garissa University College attack. Terrorist designation. Countries and organizations below have officially listed Al-Shabaab as a terrorist organization.